In Christianity, there are different behaviors and habits seen in the Bible. These are known as the seven deadly sins. And if you're not sure what the deadly sins are, they are categorized as lust, greed, gluttony, sloth, wrath, envy, and pride. Behaviors seen in humans. In this video, we'll be talking about the seven deadly sins and the consequences of what would happen if you did commit these sins. And what do they mean? And also, we'll be adding a special category. What are the real life modern day counterparts of like the criminal part of the seven deadly sins? So yes, let's get into it. And welcome to the first episode of Religion Explained. Lust is the act of very strong sexual desire or physical force producing intense desire for an object while already having significant amount of. Okay, let's get one thing straight. Lust and love are very different. Love is slowly growing feeling of deep affection. There is trust and it gives to one another. Lust is meaningless. There is no love, just sexual desire. In the Bible, it says, when a person speaks of sex for pleasure, he or she is shining with lust. Lust is best defined by its specific attributes of rape, adultery, seduction, and simple fornication. People who commit this act are prostitutes. In the US alone, 1 million reports of prostitution are reported. And men and women who, well,
to have a smoking wife, a kid, you had it all. I hope you didn't give it up so you and him could get it up. You sold your life for a thrust. Now that's the spirit of love.
the consequences of lust are sex addiction, isolation and emptiness, and STD. Envy is a feeling of jealousy of others on what they have, if it's a physical object or an emotional feeling. When you covet thy neighbor's wife, you are resentful that your neighbor has her. Envy has always been the motivation for crimes, sometimes deadly ones. A study has been published in 2015 found that people experience stronger feelings of jealousy in their left, basically the front part of your brain. Envy can be a destructive emotion, both mentally and physically. It can lead to depression, anxiety, and a lack of trust. Wrath is the act of violent anger against people. In the Bible, wrath is described as a strong, vengeful anger. When people commit wrath, it can affect a lot about themselves. Wrath can affect your emotional state. It can increase anxiety, high blood pressure, and wrath can hurt you in many ways. It can affect your mental stability, your relationships, and behavioral patterns. In the law, there are many different ways of wrath, such as murder, manslaughter, and borderline assault. In the US alone, 7.8% of people, especially among men and young adults, have at least some form of wrath. 2.1 million people are convicted because of violent crimes. 11,060 people are arrested because of murder. 280 people are arrested because of aggravated assault. And 1,025,710 for simple assault. Wrath is not a good emotion. It has a lot of consequences. Being arrested. Long-term physical effects, emotional and mental effects, self-esteem issues, domestic violence, and lost sense of peace. Gluttony is the act of overeating or overindulging of food. In the Bible, gluttony is described as an excessive eating, drinking, and indulgence. Gluttony is seen as a cry for help. I think it's because people eat away at their emotions too much. At least that's what I think. Please, tell me what your opinion is down in the comments below. King James Bible, Proverbs 23 to 20 to 21. For the drunkard and the glutton shall come to poverty, and drownness shall clothe a man with wrath. Now let's break this down, at least the beginning. For the drunkard and the glutton shall come to poverty. I think it means that gluttons spend their time drinking and eating. So that's pretty much what I think it is. The money is going to food and drink. And 12.7% of the US are alcoholics, and about 39.6% of American adults were. So yeah, I think it's time to go on that salad diet. Obesity, type 2 diabetes, some cancers, heart disease. Greed is the intent of selfish desires for something, especially wealth, power, and food. All sins lead to one to the next to the other. So, yeah. In the Bible, it talks about greed, saying it's a ruthless, self-seeking desire for one's own benefit. He who is greedy for gain troubles his own house, but he who hates bribes will live. So are the ways of everyone who is greedy for gain. It takes away the life of. There are some greed-related crimes, like robbery. There are two types of robbery that I can think of off the top of my head: mugging and bank robbery, which essentially boils down to a form of wrath. Some examples of greed are some politicians who want the power for themselves. Corrupt companies like Navient. Watch the Patriot Act. They can give a far better example than I could. And people on that show, Hoarders. I'm not sure what channel was it on, but yeah. Hoarding is essentially a form of greed, not letting one thing go. No one will trust you because of your thoughtlessness and selfishness. That is all that I can say about greed. Okay, let's get one thing straight. Well, half straight. When I say pride, I mean the sin, not the LGBTQ community. That is a completely separate form of pride, which I will not be going into today. I'm talking about the more destructive and more toxic form of pride. So, let's get back to the video. Pride is the feeling of deep pleasure or satisfaction deriving from one's own achievements. When comes pride, then comes disgrace. But with humility comes wisdom. The Lord's debt all of the pride of heat. Be sure of this, they will not go unpunished. Pride goes before destruction, and haughty spirit before a fall. Arrogant people tend to score higher on narcissism. Excessive pride diminishes self-awareness and exaggerates appreciation of oneself by diminishing others. Excessive pride prevents the growth of the other virtues. Uncomfortable to recognize your own shortcomings or mistakes. Sloth is the act of laziness. And in the Bible, it says, sloth goes to refuse joy from God and is repelled by good. Let me clarify one thing about this video, or at least this part of the video. When I'm talking about sloth, I mean the sin, not the animal. There's a difference. Sloth is not that good. Yes, you need breaks, but not too many. It has been shown time and time again that laziness can lead to some mental health issues, like anxiety or depression. Thou wicked and slothful servant, thou knewest that I leaped where I showed not, and gather where I have not strawed. Well, that's all of them. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I hope you have a better understanding of the 7 deadly sins. Alright, Caesar, take the outro. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video, and comment down below if you guys want to see another one of my videos. And if you have any suggestions for another video,
go ahead. I'm all ears. I am open to do, well, any other videos of any analysis. All right. Wait, hold on. What time is it? Oh, shit. Well, 34 Generation out. Have a nice day.